Hi there, welcome to the site. My name's Jay, good to meet you. Glad you found the site, I hope the book looks interesting. This is going to be a quick video that will explain pretty much what the book's about. What I thought would be a good idea is to very quickly go through the contents of the book so you understand what you're going to be buying. Remember, you've got a full money back guarantee with this, 55 days to decide that if it's not what you thought it was, or for any reason you don't want to buy the book, you can return it, no problem at all. Okay, so you've got no worries or concerns when you're actually downloading this book to purchase it, because you can always return it if it's not what you're looking for. I know it's valuable. A lot of people have got an awful lot from this book. It's changed their lives. The stuff that's in it has changed my life in so many ways, not just dating and having relationships with women, but in all aspects of my life. Because a lot of the book's about psychology and the psychology of dating women. So it's going to be valuable information, and there'll be stuff in there that you'll probably want to go back and read again, because there's a lot of techniques. You won't be just doing all of them all in one go, and a lot of them you want to redo and redo and redo until they get so strong that your confidence is completely rock solid. And I'll say a lot of the time in all of the videos that 90% of what you need to do is in here before you even go out and talk to that first girl. It may sound like a strange thing and you're probably not sure whether to believe me at the moment, but I've been through it, and I've seen it. I've studied psychology for a long time now, since like 20 years or something really, and what I've come to discover is see how people work and break it down, and I can see people who go out and they learn this kind of stuff, and really they think that it's the techniques of the actually how you walk up to a girl or their body language or what they say, but when they actually think about it themselves and when you question them, they actually agree as well that it's pretty much all in the mind. And once you've got rock solid internal systems of how you're thinking and feeling all the time, then you'll be able to walk up to any girl and ask her for a telephone number, ask her on a date, kiss her within minutes of meeting a girl. It's quite easy, and even take them home to your pad. So let me go through what's in the book. The very first part is actually about choosing a role model. It's one of the things that I think is very misunderstood now, who we try to model ourselves on, and you've really got to review that and come up with something different and something that's unique to you. I go into quite a lot of detail in that aspect, and then sort of how we've evolved in our culture and in society as men, and the impact that that's having on us now in our relationships, and being able to go out and meet and date girls. And then we go on to explain that, this kind of stuff that you're going through, everybody goes through it. You're not the only person, and don't ever feel that you are. Every guy, and myself included, I'll have my days or periods, long periods of time where at one moment I've got every girl that I could want, and I'm seeing a different girl every night, literally. And then I'm down to a position where, I used to think it was I was doing something wrong in, my technique, the way I was talking to the girl. And I suddenly realised, and it was the liberating realisation, that it was actually me who internally, I just didn't want to go out and meet a girl. And once you realise that, your life and your dating life will change completely. All of the pressure's taken off of you, and then when you decide that you are interested in a girl again, you go out and you get as many as you want again. But what you'll realise is that this happens to everybody, and where you are is perfectly okay. And the good news is there's very simple ways to change it and get into the kind of dating that you want to be involved in. Lots of girls, the girl of your dreams, being able to walk up and chat to them, or anybody else for that matter. And you'll get there with this book. I guarantee that if you do what's is in there in the way of techniques, especially the regards to the mind, I call it inner game, you will change, and you will be able to walk up to those girls, guaranteed. So the next part of the book is very much about that. It's about changing the the way you feel about yourself and what you're saying to yourself all the time. And it gives you ways through affirmations, visualization, techniques that don't actually have names, where I describe what you need to do, but there isn't a name for it. I refer to it in the book as walking into yourself. That's the best way I can describe it. But it gives you a way of entering what's called the zone. You know, you've heard sports people especially talk about being in the zone. And gives you a methodology of changing how you feel inside, so you feel great all the time, literally great all the time. And this is why this is bigger than just dating, because you are going to become a new person, not only just a confident person, but a happier person, and a person that's more content and more balanced and more centered inside. So like I say, it's going to change an awful lot in your life, not just how you meet women. So then we go on to, excuse me while I scroll down here, just as I read there's so much in the index that, or the contents, that I have to remind myself as well. So then we go on to changing yourself, like your image, maybe your hair, how you dress, your physique. So it gives you ideas as to what you might do to go out there and get fit, and I cover it all just to give ideas and pros and cons of each one of them. And your diet as well. We talk about diet because it's important. What you eat actually can affect how you think and how you feel inside. So, and you know, it can change an awful lot of other things, like sexual problems as well. There's a lot. I've got another book that's completely dedicated to sex. It's revolutionary. It's groundbreaking stuff that you won't find in the bookshops. I know because I've read all of the books that are there. And it talks about diet, for instance, and how that can affect your sexual appetite, your sexual potency, erectile problems, all sorts of stuff like that. So then we go on to body posture and the language you use as well. So what we're doing is changing how you appear on the outside to people. And the strange thing is how you appear on the outside changes how you feel on the inside. And vice versa, how you feel on the inside, you'll find that when you start to change what you're thinking and how you're feeling, you'll change on the outside as well. Your posture will be different, you'll breathe differently, your body language will be different, and then you'll probably find that, you know, you're changing your hair, you're changing the way you dress, and you're changing as a person, and that's when things all start changing, you know, and the girls start to see you, notice you, respond to you, and want you. And that's the crux of it. The second part of the book, and I'll say this now, I wish the book could be 90% about the mind. I've made it 50-50, 50% is all the psychology, and then 50% is the techniques, because I know, and you know, I have to agree, you know, that I would have been the same as well, was the same, that you'll think that it's about what you're saying to the girls, the chat-up lines, how your body language is relating to them, and whatever else you believe in your mind as to the reason why you're not getting the success with girls that you should be at the moment, and you should be having it. You know, if you're a good person, and I'm gonna believe you are, because the reason you've come to this kind of site is because you want to improve yourself, and that is a special person, and therefore you're a good person, and you deserve to have those relationships. I think everybody does. And that will change you as a person as well. Having those relationships will, especially if they're with the right girl, then you'll change as a person for the better. And one of the beauties and the most important things about this, and if you ever get people who are negative about learning this kind of stuff, and it's amazing how many people are, and I just really don't understand it, because everybody wants relationships, you know, and let's face it, I mean, it's almost a taboo thing to want to go out and meet girls now, you know. It's a really strange thing. And learning this kind of stuff, you know, I mean, I still have arguments with friends who've known me for a long time. Some girlfriends, you know, and they'll still argue with me, why do you need to do it? You shouldn't need to, you know. And what my response is this gives me choices that I probably never had before. And the reason being is because instead of, you know, seeing a few girls, you know, I never had that many problems. Now I can see as many as I want. And the girls who I might not have spoken to before just because of a lack of confidence, I can now go and walk up to. And so it's opened up a huge reservoir of potential female partners, and therefore I'm able to choose not just good looking ones, or not just sexy ones, not just intelligent ones, but I'm able to choose also the girls who are really nice, the girls who are going to improve me as a person, and that's important. So then we go on to the actual techniques, and I give some ideas as to how to do warm-ups, for instance, just like in a gym. So it's conversation openers that you might do with bar staff, people that you meet in a queue and things like this, to get you into the flow and into the rhythm and into the mindset of actually talking to people. And that then is like a warm-up exercise to then go up to the girls and do it. I explain all about body language, how you should position yourself when you're going up to it. You know, it really works well, you know, and until you've got rock solid in a game, then you need to use these little techniques to give you that bit of an advantage, stacking your deck in your favour. And there is actually a section in the book that's called exactly that. Also, how to develop instant rapport, so that the girl, even if you haven't spoken to them, they'll instantly like you. And it's a very simple thing to do. How to put them on a back foot, so especially with the really good looking girls, we're always used to getting compliments and getting their own way. This is just a way of saying something to them that's almost like a compliment that's a slap in the face. And you get them on their back foot, and while they're reeling and off balance because they're not used to it, you're able to get in there and almost you kind of go underneath that barrier that they have up and get in to speak to the person who's inside. There's also a lot about introducing sex into the conversation, easy ways to do that, how to escalate things so that you can start maybe putting your arm around them and your hand on their leg, whatever it is, you know, to escalate things into a more sensual and intimate and physical manner. How to get a telephone number and how to get a kiss. There's also a great thing that I put in there that is about how to find out whether a girl likes you, wants to kiss you, wants to have sex with you, or even loves you. A way of doing that without actually having to ask them and without having to like read dilating pupils, which is what they say in body language, or their lips start to get redder. I mean, I've known about this stuff for years, but I've never been able to sit in the bar and look at a girl and see her pupils dilate and think to myself, oh, she fancies me. I wish it was body language and reading those kind of things was that simple, but I've never found it that way, and I've been studying this for a long time. This way that I give you is a lot simpler and a lot more accurate as well. It's like 100% accurate. So then we go on to the conversation openers, so things you can say to girls that are unique, that you can go up, say to a girl in any situation, and it'll create a way to be able to start a conversation with them, which 95% of the time it succeeds. You know, there's only 5% when you get a girl who's basically a complete bitch. And one thing to remember, okay, is if you try one of these techniques and the girl is rude to you, you don't want to know that girl anyway. And one thing I've always discovered is that the girls that are worth knowing, and you see them in the clubs as well. Have a look. You'll see a girl who's beautiful, guy walks up to her, and she's a complete bitch. Okay, you'll see another girl who's equally or better looking, you know, sexy or whatever it is, and the guy will go up to her trying to chat her up. She'll have the same, you know, maybe she's got a boyfriend, you know, or she just isn't interested in that guy, the same as the other girl who was the bitch. But this other girl will treat the guy nicely and will let him down or say no in a polite and friendly manner. They're the kind of girls that you should be interested in, because they don't have the hang-ups to begin with. You know, so like I say, you get to choose the girls that you want, and if one of these openers or things that you do in the conversation to get them to like you, if they don't work, then you know, and the girl's a bitch, then don't worry about it. Just go on to another girl. It's really a numbers game to a degree as well, you know. So then there's all sorts of stuff about how to start conversations with girls in bars, how to carry the conversation on. Also a lot of stuff about how to and where to go to meet a girl just when you're walking along the street or in town. Then there's also loads of stuff on dating, what to do, how to impress the girl without actually boasting, how to keep them interested, and then how to get them through a very quick series of basically one date that to them will feel like 5 dates. 3 or 5 dates, and it's 3 or 5 is normally the break number of a girl when they might want to have sex with you. I'll teach you a way how to do that in one night, so at the end of that night, if you want, you can have sex. Okay, it's all there. I hope you enjoy it. You've got the money back guarantee. Thanks for listening to me. There's other videos on here, one that's a secret. Take care and bye.